BYU of all schools should have been really comfortable. I mean, or anybody who's played in a church gym. In the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints gym. You know what the gym floor is like, right?
Yeah, you got to get the dust mop every 30 minutes if you want it to stay okay.
Exactly. That's what it was like. That's what I equated it to, playing church ball.
Were you able to go step out on the court and walk a little bit?
Just briefly. Before you enter the court, you saw AJ do this. They have probably a 2x2 mat that's sticky.
Oh, yeah.
They just put the sticky stuff on the shoes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hike the Y, a BYU sports podcast. And today we have a very special guest, Professor Othello Richards. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, I'm special. I get a special treatment?
Yes,
very
special.
Oh, thanks. Cheering. Wow. I didn't feel so. Wow, you guys, thanks for making me feel so good.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous because he's actually our professor for like communications and like sports podcasts and stuff. So I'm like, we just barely
gotta
like
do well on the podcast today.
We had a lecture the other day about like podcasts, so we might walk away with a D in this class after this podcast.
Yeah, you may. Oh, yeah. That's okay. D's get degrees, so you're good.
And we
didn't have on the podcast when Ty and I were in the class last semester.
Yeah,
Ty and I both passed the class, so we're all right there.
I know there's always exceptions to the rule.
I mean, yeah. If Connor can pass, that's great.
Yes.
And of course,
if I can pass, anything's possible, bro.
and of course, to all of our listeners, Connor unfortunately is attending over Zoom, so we're excited to have him on the podcast as well. So.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's always happy to be here.
Yeah, Professor Richards, would you mind introducing yourself a little bit for our audience? Just kind of telling them what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a communications professor, but before this, I used to be a television news reporter. I covered general news assignments, meaning anything from cops and courts, crime, the craziest ways that people actually died. It's crazy. Also covered Gonzaga basketball. I spent many stories covering the team, being in the locker room, making my way onto the court side and actually sneaking into the arena. Not sneaking in. So I wasn't a sports reporter, but this is how it works. So Gonzaga, and we have press passes. So I'll take a press pass. If I wanted to watch a game, I'll take a press pass. My name wasn't on the press pass, but I'll just flash it real fast, walk into the McCarthy Athletic Center, which is impossible to get a ticket into, and sit courtside and pretend like I'm taking notes as the game was going on. And so I have my notepad. I'm writing nothing on the notepad, just scribbling down, but watching the game. So I got to watch a lot of games that way. That's the only way you could actually watch a game unless you're a season ticket holder, which is impossible to get a season tickets at the McCarthy in Spokane. But yeah, cover NCAA tournament in Spokane. So I'm a huge sports fan, huge BYU fan.
Yeah.
Are you rooting for Gonzaga then in the tournament?
No, I have no affinity to Gonzaga. I mean, I also went to Texas Tech. That's where I got my PhD. But I mean, now that BYU's out, so maybe I may root for Texas Tech. But other than that, I'm BYU through and through. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, we're learning things already. How to sneak into a basketball game for Professor Richards.
Oh yeah. So I think what happened the next season, they cracked down on it. I think another reporter from another station got jealous and told the SID, Sports Information Director. And after that, they started cracking down on the... Oh, come on.
Killjoy, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Killjoy. Gotta let him play. Let him have fun.
Uh-huh.
Of course. Yeah, and Professor Richards, you also were able to attend the Big 12 tournament last week, and we're really excited to talk to you about that. Nate, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, I do want to address the elephant in the room very quickly. Unfortunately, BYU got out last night to Texas in the most recent matchup, but we're really excited to have Othello Richards on the podcast today because of just his opportunity to go to the tournament and just being able to be around the players. So probably the first question that we wanted to ask you was, what was the kind of vibe with the team and other teams in Kansas City and at that tournament in the Big 12?
There was so much energy. So I was there on an experiential learning trip with students. We took 6 students in the sports media program, and I was one of the advisors on this trip. So that's why I was there. But as the advisor, I also have the chance to attend the press conferences, to be in the locker room with the players, the post game being in the locker room after the game. And when you walk into that arena and you're near the floor and you see that first game and the crowd and the players seem larger than life, it's just energy. I mean, there's just so much energy and excitement among the players, among the fans, the cheerleaders, all the different administration, the commissioner. It's an incredible experience to be there in person and see that. So that was my first sight, just looking at the court and just seeing. I'm like, this is real. This is really happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's amazing. That's like a dream of mine to be able to just attend the Big 12 tournament, to be a part of it. That'd be so awesome.
But guess what? So you all are students. So I'm guessing you've had a chance to attend a basketball game.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't.
Yes.
I've been priced out. BYU basketball games are too expensive. So that was actually my first time actually seeing this team in person.
Wow.
I cannot
wow.
afford. I cannot afford the Marriott. I can't. Not with 5 kids. I have to feed them.
You don't get like a discount or anything as a BYU professor?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh.
My first year here, 10 years ago,
Oh man.
it was dirt cheap season tickets. No longer.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about a couple of times on the podcast, just being able to go down, even just being on the 6th row, watching like players like Boop or like Kebakeda, and you're like, whoa, these guys are actually massive. And you see them on TV and you think, oh yeah, I could easily go out on the basketball court and just be an awesome basketball player. And it's like, those guys are big and they are strong.
Exactly. And that was my first
yeah.
thought. I'd say the game is different down there. I mean, there's so much, when you see them, they're abnormal, which they are. Not many people are that big, that tall, that strong. And to look at them like, wow. And these are like 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and they seem like grown men. I mean, they are grown, not grown young men, actually. But that was amazing. And I could talk a little bit more about just how much more anxiety I felt watching the games on the floor. So when you experience it as a fan from above, I mean, you see them, they're smaller. But when you're down there on the floor and you can hear the conversations, you can hear the coaches screaming. At one point, I'm like, I just want this to end. I'm sitting there. The first 2 games I was on the floor. The third game against Houston, I was above in the press box. The first 2 games, I'm just right there, and I'm just looking at the clock the entire time. I just want this to end. I just want this to end because you feel so much emotion. I mean, my heart is pounding. You want them to win, but I just want it to end. I want this to be over with. Because you feel the game. You really feel the game when you're down there on the floor.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never been able to be like literally on the court, and I'm assuming that's where you were able to be.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to hear how the energy is sort of different.
Yeah, I mean, you hear. I mean, what you can hear. I mean, it's so loud in there, and I mean, you see things that the television cameras don't show. Like when Rob Wright left the game. Was it our first game?
Yeah, because of a lip injury.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was announced. What was announced on television?
No.
I just remember seeing him leaving with a bloody mouth. I'm like, oh no, he got hit in the mouth. So I was wondering what happened to him. So yeah, it was his tooth. I think 2 teeth got knocked out or knocked back or something got loose. And to Rob's credit, we did after the game we had a post-game press conference. We're allowed into the locker room, and Rob gave us the interview.
Really?
And Rob, I mean, he's sitting there.
Wow.
His lip is off big. It's numb. Poor guy can barely talk. He's in pain, and he's telling us that. But he still talked to us. Talked to us about the game and how he was doing. But yeah. So anything I know, we talked also about the court as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another thing that was pretty controversial. A lot of fans online did not like the court, and another thing that happened was a lot of players said that they didn't like the court. Just some things that came out, like K-State came out and said that they didn't like it. A Texas Tech player left the game because of a groin injury. What were some other things that were being said in the locker room or like during press conferences just about the court in general?
Yeah, the first time I saw the court was during the women's game on television. And I saw a comment on Twitter. Some guy said, "I just came here to see the glass." I'm like, "What does he mean by the glass?" I didn't realize it was literally glass, LED
Really?
lights.
Yeah.
What that for was. And then when I went there, it's a beautiful court. It is beautiful to the audience, to the crowd, to the people in the stands. I mean, the light. I mean, you can put anything. You can project, or I guess put anything into that. It's a big television screen. That's what it is. I mean, it's great for probably marketing. I mean, they have statistics you can put on the court. They have BYU blue. You see the entire I mean, it was a beautiful court. But when I watched the women's tournament, or at least some of the games or highlights in the women's tournament, I saw players slipping. I'm like, this has to be slippery. So when you go there, I mean, they call it glass, but it's really LED lights with some sort of some textures to prevent you from slipping. But this court was tested in Europe. I think 2 European teams use it.
Okay.
But the difference is, I'm like, okay, I don't know, American players, I don't know how much faster they are. So the players that had the most trouble on the court, I think the ones that will cut harder. Those
Okay.
players, like the guards, that could cut really hard, and that's what you saw. That's when you saw people slipping. And I was just hoping, please none of our BYU players get hurt. Please, AJ, don't bust an ACL or MCL or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you're correct about the players. So many times, some players, they don't want to say anything controversial. They don't want to support. To them, it's all about when we ask them questions, yeah, it's about the game. We all have to play on the court. But some did not like it.
Yeah.
Kada did not like it. And he was vocal in the locker room. Every time we ask him any question, I don't like it. He would say, I don't like it. Before the TCU, I forgot who TCU played that second night.
Kansas?
Yeah, it was right after the BYU game. Yeah, in Kansas. And I'm sitting in the tunnel. TCU is about to enter, and there was, I think he's a coach. He was in a TCU gear with the team. And I asked him, I'm like, this is like, I told him, like, we've heard of in football, it's called turf toe. No,
Yeah.
The turf monster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The turf
In football,
monster.
call it turf
Yeah.
monster. Yeah, when you trip on the
That's
turf.
so true.
I'm like, this is the glass monster. That's why I call it the glass monster. Because people were
You
slipping.
can see it, yeah.
Uh-huh. And he told
There's
me,
so many turnovers.
and costly turnovers at critical times. But it's the TCU personnel. He told me, he's like, I cannot believe that they busted this out for this tournament. He's like, I can understand them doing it in the preseason or early in the season, but why pull out this court now at this time?
Interesting.
That's a good point.
And so after that, Kansas, I think after that second day, or third, my days all mixed up. But for the Final Four, that's when they decided to pull the court.
Yeah. Were you able to talk to Commissioner Yomark at all about the change? Like, was that change coming because of the players and like maybe a potential injury, or was it because like the fans online were just absolutely dogging on it?
No, I don't know exactly why. I do know in the before the first game, on the first day, Yomark, he did have his press conference. That's the only time we had a chance to ask him questions, and they were asking about the court. And when a reporter asked him about the court, well, his reply to the reporter was, "Hey, how do you feel about the court?" Of course, the reporters, they didn't know how they felt about the court. I mean, they were like, "I think I like it." Nobody really. They didn't want. They wanted to be nice. I think. But I think I'm guessing after the Texas Tech player Anderson, I believe, when he pulled, I think he pulled his groin. I ran track and field at BYU. I've pulled groins. When I saw him go down and then grab his groin area, I'm like, he probably pulled a groin.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's playing in the tournament today.
He actually is. Texas Tech, as of right now, just finished their game and they won against Akron.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Yeah.
And he played?
He did play, and he played pretty well.
How many minutes? I'm curious. Yeah.
I have it up right here. Let's see.
So, I mean, as you're looking that up, I mean, when I saw him go down, I'm like, it's because he slipped. His legs went from under him. He probably pulled something in that groin area. I also saw another critical time. Was it our game? Or it could have been our game or another game. But it was really tight. It was near the end. And the player slipped as he's trying to get the ball, going for the ball. And it caused a turnover and then a score. And those games are so tight. I mean, you go up by 4, that's a big lead.
I do remember
Yeah.
that happened against BYU and West Virginia. I do remember that happening. I remember it happening to BYU against K-State, where we just had a player, AJ Dybantsa, was tossing it back out. I think it was to Kennard Davis. He just lost his footing.
Oh,
The
yeah.
ball went right over his head, and then it went to an
Oh,
easy
yeah.
bucket for K-State.
Yeah.
It
And so-
happened a lot on like they would catch the ball and like they'd pump fake a three from like beyond the arc, and then they would try to drive in off that, but they'd slip on that all the time. Like that was the one that I saw the most often
yeah.
when
Interesting.
they turn a ball over off of that.
So I'm like, you know what? BYU of all schools should have been really comfortable. I mean, or anybody who's played in a church gym. In the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints gym. You know what the gym floor is like, right?
Wow. Yeah, you got to get the dust mop every 30 minutes if you want it to stay okay.
Exactly. That's what it was like. That's what I equated it to, playing church ball.
Were you able to go step out on the court and walk a little bit?
Just briefly, before you enter the court, you saw AJ do this. They have probably a 2x2 mat that's sticky.
Oh, yeah.
It's put the sticky substance
yeah.
on your shoes. And if you look at one of the games, AJ, I think it was against Houston, because I was from above. He stepped on it several times. At the beginning of the game, it was like within the first 3 minutes, he kept on going to near the announcer table and stepping on that pad, wiping his shoes off, and going back onto the court. So that's what they had. It's some sticky pad to help clean off your shoes before you get on the court.
Interesting.
Yeah. Quick Christian Anderson update. Played 39 minutes.
Wow.
Out of 40, and I think the last
Dang.
minute was just because they were up by so much. They went off. So yeah, hopefully he's okay.
Good for him.
Represent the Big 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. How was the players' reaction? Those or the teams that were still in to the court being switched? Was it mostly positive?
We left that day. So we left after BYU lost. We left that Friday. So that was the Final Four. But I imagine it would have been people. And also, you think about this court. People may not know. Also, when you bounce a ball on hardwood versus glass or plexiglass, whatever exact substance it was, it sounds different. Players saying it just sound.
Yeah.
It only felt different. It sounded different. How the ball bounced, the sound that it made, and so people had to adjust on the fly to this court.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't have even thought about the sound. That's really. I wonder if that would like mess you up, if, like you were trying to dribble the ball and like the sound's just in your head. I don't know.
No, that's why I thought any team that played, any team that sat, that had the bye, they had a disadvantage. Think about Houston. We played Houston well in that first half. I'm like, come second half, Houston will be pretty well adjusted to this court, the feel, the sound, and everything. And I think any team those teams that had byes, they may have struggled a little bit in the first half until they adjusted to playing on that court.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
But I think the commissioner did it. They said they didn't want the court to be the main story, and so that's why they switched it for the Final Four.
Yeah.
They wanted people to focus on the game and not on the court, because up to that point, a lot of the questions were about the court, and players not liking the court.
Yeah, that was definitely a controversial court. Like the court was controversial for its looks to the fans. A lot of people who are watching online absolutely hated the court. We talked a little bit about it on the podcast.
We talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, Connor, do you want to tell us a little bit about what we talked about on the podcast?
Yeah, we kind of just talked about. I remember saying something like, I don't know, I didn't like how they were using it. They had the free throw percentage when somebody was shooting a free throw, they'd have it on the other end, and we just didn't really like that. We just thought, that's what a jumbotron is for. The court is supposed to be hardwood. That's the way it's always been. None of us really liked the idea. As a viewer, none of us really enjoyed that. So it's interesting to see the players kind of agreed with that.
Yeah, and your mark, I mean, in his defense, he was saying, hey, we have to innovate. He's like, the Big 12 are all about innovation. And so this was just something that they were trying. But you do have to give them credit for owning up to it and saying, hey, look, maybe this isn't working how we thought it was going to work. Player safety is paramount. Let's go ahead and change this. So you have to give them credit for having the backup court someplace there in the arena and ready to go.
Yeah, that was excellent by Yomark and the whole crew. I was a little upset with fans when they were kind of upset of like, oh, you're changing the court back to hardwood? It should have been like that in the first place. I'm like, it takes a really big person and a very big corporation like the Big 12 to say, you know what, maybe the glass court wasn't the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to change our mind and do player safety first. So definitely an interesting thing that happened there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I do love how the Big 12 is being innovative. I love it. I hate the gray court. I'm watching the Big 12 tournament. I switch over to the SEC tournament. I'm finally watching basketball. Like, this is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least the Big 12 is trying. That's all that matters.
Do you know what's so weird? When I watched BYU play yesterday in the tournament, the orange core, the brown core, whatever color, it looked weird to me. It looked weird. I got so used to the gray court, like the regular court looked really weird on television. So our eyes tend to adjust. So eventually the gray court started looking normal. I'm like, oh, it's gray. Anything of it, like the color. But then when I watched the brown court again, or whatever color you want to call it, tan, it just looked weird.
You know what? Maybe that's why BYU lost. They were so used to the gray court, they couldn't go back.
Yeah. They adapted to the slippage, you know?
Yeah, they were overreacting, like doing too much.
Yeah.
Or that they couldn't score other than AJ, or rebound, or play much defense in the first half.
Couldn't hit a 3.
Yeah. Going what, 2 for 20? Oh, my goodness, from 3.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just another thing. So you were able to talk to the players and kind of get their vibe before going into March. At this point, they knew that they were going to be in March Madness. They didn't know what their seed was or who they were playing. But what was kind of like the overall feel with the players going into March after getting 2 pretty impressive wins?
They were extremely confident in the locker room. Everybody, they're really confident. They're really confident that they went through, as they call it, the Big 12 gauntlet. And that they were confident in any team they could face. Because I asked AJ that. I asked, hey, look, do you feel, because you went through this Big 12 and how intense it is, do you feel more prepared for any team you face? He was like, hey, look, every team's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot what his exact quote, but he said you have to be ready for every team, any team, and every team. He's like, yeah, the Big 12, it prepared us, but in the tournament, every team's good. But yeah, I think they were prepared. I think what we saw last night was a little, I want to say surprising, but not. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how surprising. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised if BYU goes to the Sweet 16. But yeah, just we've seen it this season where they've just disappointed against good teams, disappointed against bad teams, and then played well against good teams.
Exactly.
But yeah, you never know with this BYU team, and that's what cost us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they were very confident, super confident, going in. Also, interviewing a happy locker room is much much better than a sad locker room. That day they lost to Houston, I asked them, does the mood feel any different now, losing to Houston in the tournament as opposed to some of your other losses? And they're like, no, I think it was Kata. He's like, it all sucks. Either way, it sucks. Losing sucks.
So the overall feel after Houston was just like, oh, this sucks, but we still have motivation going into the tournament. Is that how it was?
I mean, I think it just felt they're just bad. Just mad that they lost. They didn't want to lose. I think they knew they still had another game left. But I can imagine, so as you're watching the press conference last night, the players, the locker room press conference, you can tell there a lot more emotion. Why? It's because the difference between losing the Big 12 tournament, you have one more game left at least. Now they have no more games left.
Yeah.
So you have the Kata and all those guys leaving. That's their last chance playing with this team. Except for AJ. AJ will be back.
We'll be back here at BYU.
Yeah.
Please, AJ.
Were you able to talk to AJ Dybantsa about staying at BYU, or was he not?
Yeah, that question's been asked. Yeah, we all asked that question. I think he was getting annoyed with the question, but he's stayed consistent, saying that it's up to his mother.
Really?
It's up to his mom. His mother wants him to remain in school or get an education. He of course can get an education and not be here at the university. But even last night he said it's up to his mom. I also read, did you read that column that Nike could try to force the issue?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That AJ is maybe worth more to Nike as a college player than as an NBA player going to a really poor team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about that,
I
Connor?
hadn't thought of that. No, I just hadn't thought about that. I was just thinking about with the NIL and the changes, that would not have been the case even 4 years ago. But now with everything that's happened, he definitely would be he could be more valuable to college basketball, especially with looking at next year's like incoming freshman class is not as impressive as this year's.
Mm-hmm.
And the hype and the attention around AJ, if he stayed, like that would be the biggest news on ESPN for weeks. Just because you don't see like this caliber of an athlete staying at college.
BYU and the city of Provo will throw a parade.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would go.
I'll do anything for.
I'll
I'll
go
cheat
march
for
the
you,
streets.
AJ. give me your test. I'll take it for you. I probably won't do well, but I'll do my best.
We
I'll
got
study
5
harder than I ever have.
I'm gonna send this to BYU. I'll get this recorded. Yeah.
Take a parade down 9th.
Yeah, the celebration, jubilation on campus, if that news comes that AJ is staying, it's going to be huge. But then how do you pay these? How do you pay AJ, Branch, Rob Wright? Okay, that's the first.
The new guy from Timpview, I forget what his name is.
Yeah,
Ruckert?
Dean
Ruckert,
Yeah, Ruckert.
Yeah.
Art
KJ Perry.
KJ Perry. Yeah.
But that team will be stacked. Can you imagine that team next year if AJ stayed?
All we
we'd
need is a
be
center.
automatic national championship contenders.
You still have Nate Pickens who will be coming back. Cole Stitch, he'll be a year older and wiser and better.
Boop,
Boo,
maybe.
all those guys.
Davis could stay. If everyone came back, I think Davis would probably transfer, to be honest. But
You think?
yeah, I think he'd want a bigger role. But
No, we'll get a bigger role next year without AJ. But you say if everybody came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all we need is a center. Probably
oh, that's
we
going to be
might
the
have to
biggest
move on
focus.
from Ahmed and maybe try to get Staten back up because he's been injured all season.
And I think the transfer portal. That's where Kevin Young. I bet that's where he tries to hit. That's where, as I look at these other teams, I'm like, okay. I'm looking at the Tennessee, the Texas center. I'm like, okay. What if he enters the portal? Guess what? BYU is going after.
We'll take him.
We're going after anybody.
Yeah, the man who ruined BYU's hopes in March Madness turns to
Big V.
the blue side.
Well, Kada did it. I mean, Kada, when we played Utah, he kind of messed us up, BYU, then he joined us.
Yeah.
Were you able to talk to any of the injured players at all? Like when it came to interviews, talking to Richie Saunders and just BYU had a ton of injuries this year. Were you able to talk to them and their thoughts about the tournament for the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA March Madness tournament?
So my students, so we're in the locker room. We had two different crews. I was with one of the students and some other students. I know some other students did talk to Richie Saunders, and I think Dawson Baker. So let's try to talk to those quote unquote forgotten players. But yeah, so I really can't remember what those players told them. But we just want to make them feel like, hey, look, we know you're here and you're still wanted. We still recognize that you're still here on the team. And now we know Coach Richie, as he's referred to, he was a big influence on the team. But so I didn't personally get a chance to talk to them, but my students did.
Yeah, it's great that like we're still trying to include these players. Dawson, Richie, love those guys. Wish they could have been able to play for BYU. All right, we just love to hear a funny story or like something interesting that happened while you were at the tournament. Is there any like funny stories, something unexpected, anything like that?
Not funny that comes to my mind. Other than people, when you're filming outside, fans, there's one lady, she actually demanded I take her picture. And so I'm trying to film the students. They're doing like Vox Pop with voicing people. Just asking people asking people questions. And she saw the camera. She comes up to me and she's like, take my picture. I'm like, I'm doing something else. No, take my picture. I mean, she's demanding I take her picture. So I'm like, I'll take your picture. So I went ahead and took her picture. Good thing I actually took her picture because after I took her picture, she came up to me, let me see it. Because imagine if I didn't take the picture. She's like, no, let me see it. Can I see it? And I showed it to her. Oh, that's so nice. So I sent it to her the next day, and she sent me an email. She probably didn't think I was going to actually send her the photo that I took of her, but I did, just to keep it on word. Keep to my word.
Now that photo is framed on her wall.
It is. Actually, it was a pretty good photo. It was a good photo. And then running into AJ Dybantsa's dad, Ace. He was about to enter the arena. He was in line, and I saw him. And I was just trying to teach my students, hey, look, you got to be aggressive. Hey, there's Ace right there. Let's get an interview with him. And so hey, so I'm a professor, we have a student. Hey, do we mind if we ask you some questions? And he's like, he thought about it for like 2 seconds. Yeah, sure. So I got to interview him at the
That's
arena.
awesome.
One of my students, I didn't realize how much he loves Coach Kansas City Chiefs. Who's the coach?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
I mean, he loves Andy Reid. He saw Andy Reid, and this student. I mean, he's like, I mean, like hyperventilating. and Andy Reid was about to pass by, and he asked me to snap a picture with Andy Reid and him. So I took a picture with him and Andy Reid, and he was. I mean, you could tell this student, he was just so happy. They got a picture with Andy Reid. But it's kind of bizarre. I mean, I'm sitting at the arena, and across from me is Andy Reid. And then to the right is Patrick Mahomes. So you see these individuals. Coach Dave Rose just right up there when I interviewed him. Tyler Hall, something. So it's a surreal experience to see all these individuals. Another thing also, when you're covering the team and you're that close, I think you feel, maybe that's why I had so much anxiety watching the games, is because I had a chance to interact with the players and kind of experience their emotions. After the game, and just how you feel it. So when they lose or when they don't do well, you feel it even more. And that's why I think after that Houston game, I'm like, okay, I'm actually good. At least for me, I'm like, my heart can't take any more
Yeah.
of this. But last night, watching the game and then watching it all end, I'm like, it's over. The season's over. Like the AJ Dybantsa era could be over, and this could be it for the fans. Then you go to Twitter or X and you see people saying online, hey, look, $12 million, and they didn't make it past round 1. And my comeback was, hey, look, it was an exciting season. Regardless, it was an exciting season. Sports is a form of entertainment, and we got entertained. It was must-see TV. So it didn't end how we wanted it to end, but it was fun. The journey was fun.
Yeah. So you wouldn't view this season as a disappointment for BYU?
It depends how you look at it. For me, sports is entertainment, and I had fun watching this team, even through the losses. I don't view it as a disappointment because I know what happened to the team injury-wise. People who don't follow BYU basketball say this: we crashed and we burned. We didn't crash and we burned. We lost key players. Any team that loses key players will not make it. It's hard. It's football, basketball, any sport. When you lose an 18-point-a-game player in Richie Saunders, that's going to hurt you. When you lose Dawson Baker, who could probably drop at least 10, at least hit some threes in a game, that's going to hurt you. Nate Pickens, I don't know exactly how he would have played. Kata dealt with injuries, it seems like, since the Utah game or one of those games. But we just lost key pieces in the season. Had we had Richie, had we had Dawson Baker, this team's a Final Four team. I mean, we wouldn't even have been a 6 seed. We would have been probably a 2 or 3 seed. We wouldn't have lost those 3 games to West Virginia. Was it Cincinnati? UCF? Yeah. We would have. Yeah, we would have won those games. So that's it is what it is. I mean, injuries happen. It's unfortunate it happened, and so I don't look at it as a not a successful season. Those were the cards that they were dealt. And at least we got to see one last spectacular performance, if it is the last, from AJ Dybantsa. That the last game, that last 35-point output, the 20 points in the first half, that was exciting to watch. Him just dominate every shot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably the closest to Jimmer Fredette since obviously Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah. Unstoppable.
Yeah, and like injuries, you look at Duke. Duke almost loses as a number 1 seed to Siena yesterday, and they had a couple of key players that were out, and they just barely got it done.
North Carolina,
yeah.
North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, injuries just. I don't want to think about what this season could have been, because it's just going to make me disappointed. Like, we could have had it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think
that's tough.
I think that's why I feel okay with how it ended, because I knew, we had the injuries. But had we been full strength with Richie and everybody else and got knocked out in the first round, then for me it's a bigger disappointment.
Yeah, that would have been very disappointing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Connor.
I was thinking about it since we played North Carolina in the preseason, the last game before the first regular season game. I thought about our seasons, like you compare them, they're kind of similar, where they have both teams had some stellar wins, both teams had some eyebrow raising losses, but overall, both 6 seeds losing to 11s. It's kind of like parallel seasons, in part with some injuries. If Caleb Wilson plays for North Carolina, it's a whole different season. And if we can have AJ, or if we can have Richie and Dawson for more time, then the season's totally different than what we experienced. But I mean, I was just happy to be back. First season for me back from my mission. I was really looking forward to it, and I was not disappointed with it either. I was very happy with how we played, with what we had.
And you know what? I think the other part of this is, I mean, it might be a little controversial. This is the reason why I like basketball. The reason I like basketball is because you just have no idea who's going to win. You have no idea which team's going to show up. I have Duke going to the finals. I have Duke in the finals playing against Arizona. I think I could see them losing to TCU.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see them losing to St. John's or Kansas. I could see them losing in a couple of rounds. But the reason I love basketball so much is just because you never know what to expect. It's always something new. Siena, I couldn't even tell you where Siena is on a map. Maybe Georgia. I
have no idea.
But I mean, there's just a random accountant on their team who can just hit a three or something and play against a team that only has 4 losses. It's just why I love basketball so much. It's why I've loved this BYU season. And I think if you're AJ Dybantsa, maybe you're thinking, oh, if I just stay one more year, I get another shot at this before I go to the NBA. I'll be able to play with Branch. I'll be able to play with a bunch of other phenomenal athletes. I'll be able to go play with this BYU team. And you know what? Maybe we can go run at a national championship or even a Big 12 championship.
Maybe this loss is the fuel to the fire that keeps AJ in college. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just blessings in disguise,
Yeah.
No, I mean basketball is the ultimate, or sports. It's the ultimate reality show. I mean, it's not pre-produced. Nothing's fake. Well, some people think some calls are manufactured, but ultimately, and with AJ, if he comes back, I mean, I think the biggest fear always is this person comes back and they get hurt. Mm-hmm. He pulls he's like Richie Saunders. He busts the ACL. I mean, he'll still get rehab and make it to the NBA. But man, what it will be like if he were to come back, this next team. And I think Kevin Young also, he keeps saying it in his press conferences that he's still learning. He's still learning the game of basketball.
Who, AJ or KY?
No, Kevin Young.
Okay.
And it seems like he's coached it, and he's talked about how he started coaching at first. When he coached it a lot like the NBA. And the NBA, we have the ISO game. We have the 3 big men, or the 3 max players, and you kind of try to build this roster around 3 max players, essentially, quote unquote max. And some people are saying that model doesn't really work in college basketball. So I think Coach Kevin Young is still adapting to the game, and I think he'll just keep getting better and better with the roster creation as we go forward.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I sure hope he keeps getting better. Just get that team going up, Kevin Young.
Just need some people who hit 3-pointers.
Oh yeah,
that's what we missed.
And you know what? Maybe we'll have that in this upcoming freshman class, and
who knows? Yeah,
who knows? I'm super excited for next season. Of course, basketball isn't over. We still got a couple more weeks, but I'm excited for BYU season, for football, for basketball. Like, it's just a great time to be a BYU Cougar here on campus, and I think we can all agree on that. It's just a good time to be here. But I don't think we have it. Connor, do you have any more questions? Or Brandon, do you have anything else you guys want to ask?
Honestly, I don't think so.
Perfect.
It's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Professor, thanks for coming on the podcast. We're super excited to have you, and thanks for your inside takes. It's just really interesting to hear what was going on, kind of what the feel was in the locker room. I feel like sometimes that's not a thing that the whole general public gets to hear all the time. So we appreciate you coming on the podcast. Any final words?
No, in the locker room, like the Big 12, the only time BYU allows locker room access is during the tournament. So I understand that even here at the Marriott press, they don't go into the locker room after the game. So that was a Big 12 tournament thing, where we had locker room access. when I covered Gonzaga, we were allowed into the locker room after each game, but BYU, I believe they don't do that. So
Interesting.
It was nice to be able to just go ahead and talk to any players.
Yeah, well, perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, well, thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. To all of our listeners, thanks for coming on the podcast, Professor. Make sure that you follow the YouTube channel, Hike the Y. Also, we have an Instagram that we just barely dropped a couple of days ago, so follow us on Instagram. And if you haven't already,
Yes, sir.
follow us on YouTube. Or no, not YouTube. Spotify. Hike the Y on Spotify. Thanks for listening, everybody. And let's get it. Go Cougs. Go Cougs. Sick 'em.
Oh.